Welcome back to another edition of the NoStoppingKev podcast. We got another great episode for you today, and so thank you for tuning in. Dad, how's it going?
It's going good. Another week, another day.
For the week, you surprised me last week.
And how did I do that?
You called me. You told me you made a new purchase.
Oh yeah.
You gonna tell the people what you bought?
A pair of sneaks.
Hold on, let me make sure I got the mic right. What kind of sneaks did you buy?
LeBron James.
You bought goat shoes, is what you bought.
No, we know they ain't the GOAT.
You bought goat shoes, baby.
We ain't buy the GOAT.
They comfortable?
Huh?
They comfortable?
You know what? I just wore them for a couple hours.
You like them, huh?
No, that's why I ain't put them back on yet.
You fighting it. Because you know they goat shoes. That's cool.
No, actually, I almost wore them today, but I didn't.
Yeah, because you probably knew it's like, I can't put these on and go over there. I can't.
No, I like them. I like them, though.
You like LeBron?
I like the shoes.
You like LeBron, too?
I'm not totally a LeBron James fan, don't you know that?
You like LeBron, though, Dad.
No, I think he's good, but I'm not necessarily a LeBron James fan.
I don't think you would wear shoes of a person you didn't like.
It's the shoes.
But the shoes are representative or something. You wouldn't wear Eric Snow's sneakers.
If I liked them.
That's a bad example because he was a Sixer. I need a scrub that was not a Sixer. Would you wear a pair of Anderson Varejao sneakers?
I don't even know who that is. It ain't the sneakers, it's what they look like.
I'm not buying it, but I'll move on.
Oh, thank you.
I'll move on. But Dad, early in the season, we got to see a little bit of basketball over the last month or so. All time it's really flying. Has anyone caught your eye for any of the big awards at the end of the season? Like you had to make a projection on awards like MVP, Rookie of the Year, Sixth Man of the Year. If you have a Defensive Player of the Year pick, because we're going to talk a little bit about defense today. Any people kind of catch your eye?
Well, for me right now, it's hard to pick an MVP of the league right now. It's too early.
But if you had to pick based on the way cats are balling, is there anyone that you like, it might be his year?
But you got to see, like, you know what? Like I'm saying, I would hope for Embiid to get MVP, but it's too early, and then he just coming back.
If you had to, let me put it this way, because you're doing that thing again where you like to be difficult.
Well, it's not that I like to be difficult. It's that you asking me to pick something that I just can't pick right now. Now, if you want me to just pick a player, I could just throw a player out there.
Producer, can you hear me? Is he being difficult? Yes or no?
I think he's being difficult.
Oh,
I'm being honest.
My producer sometimes is too nice.
But I'm being honest.
All right, Dad. Think about it. Put it this way. Let me give you a different thing. You go to a schoolyard, right? Kids gotta make. You got 3 kids, right? Each one has to take 10 shots, right? And whoever makes the most out of the 10 shots win, right? Here's the thing. We let you pick the winner when they get to their 5th shot. So you got one kid is 5 for 5. You got a kid that's 2 for 5, and you got a kid that's 0 for 5. You can pick one then, right? You gonna lay your money down on one of them, right? So that's all I'm asking you to do. Based on what we've seen in the league, who would you lay some money down for MVP?
Well,
or
I'm a bet on Embiid this year.
My man's played like 3 games.
Oh, I just said that. How are you saying something about?
There's so many other guys that are doing phenomenal, like my pick, Luka Doncic, who's averaging 36, 9-9 in this early season. Averaging 36 at any point in the year is crazy. When you've played, about 10 games or so, to go out and almost get 40 a night is incredible. Yeah. But to almost average 40 with 9 rebounds, 9 assists, that's quite remarkable.
So what is Dame averaging right now?
Give me a second. I'll tell you. But have you seen Luka, though?
I mean, Luka.
Like, you still would pick Embiid, even though you got Luka pitting up almost 40 points. You quiet over there.
I'm not picking them just because how many points they put up and put it on the board.
But you picked the guy
I mean, you know
that hasn't
what?
even put minutes on the board.
But I'm saying, what did he do last night? How he came back last night? So you
To answer your question, James.
you asked.
Go ahead.
No, you asked me. You just asked me. What you did ask me. Like you just told me with a few. I said it was just a few games, and you
Been more than a few, but
we don't have how many games that we do have this year.
to answer your other question,
Yeah.
Dame is 20. He's averaging 29 points, 4.5 rebounds, 4.5 assists. That's not an MVP point guard, if you ask me.
What's their record?
They are. Man, you got a lot of questions. I need you to start. When you gonna bring your own? When you gonna bring your own answers? You ain't got the answers, Kev.
I was coming back here to talk about defense.
All right. We'll get to that. But Portland is now 7-3, and sitting at third in the West.
Okay, they dropped. It.
Yeah, they did. Any other picks that like you had to pick a rookie of the year?
I'm going with Tyrese Maxey.
I said rookie of the year.
Oh, rookie. No, I haven't picked
What
my
did
rookie.
you think I was asking? Then?
6 man. I mean, no, he's not even 6 man. Most improved.
You good?
Most improved.
You good?
No.
So if you had to give out a most improved, it would be Maxey.
Maxey.
All right.
Maxey.
Yeah. So rookie of the year, I'm rolling with my man Paolo out of the Duke. He's absolutely killing it this season, and pre-draft, I kept telling everybody like, "Yo, Paolo needs to go number 1." Orlando Magic did the right thing. They picked Paolo number 1 overall, and he's backing it up, averaging 33.5 points per game to go along with 8 rebounds and 3.6 assists. So, great rookie season. And then 6-man, if you had to pick a 6-man, Dad, since you can't pick Maxey, who is a starter, who would it be?
Who would my 6-man be?
I'll tell you who mine will probably be, if they keep him coming off the bench, which I hope that they do. It would be my main man, Russell Westbrook. So, Russ's numbers right now are a little, I would say kind of like an underestimate. Why your face like that? But Russ right now is averaging 6.3 points, just under 6 rebounds and 6 assists. But if you look at his most recent games, he's been putting up 22, 19, 20, and 26 points over his last 3 games. This is as of November 8th. Coming off the bench for the Lakers. Now they haven't been winning, but I think he may be the biggest impact performer off the bench across the NBA this year. Because this guy, he's gonna be flirting with a triple double coming off the bench, which can be quite impressive if he gets his rebounding numbers up.
I don't think that's gonna stay though.
Why not?
I just don't think it's gonna stay.
Why?
Huh?
Why? If he's playing starter minutes, coming off the bench, he's going to kind of give you a starter stat line. So I think his numbers will be there. It'll be a matter of if a committee can get behind him being a 6-man of the year finalist, depending on how the Lakers do in the win and loss column.
So how do you think he playing much better coming up? Why do you think he playing better coming off the bench?
Fit.
Huh?
Fit.
It fit?
Yeah.
Okay.
Because him and LeBron, Russ for his entire, 13, 14-year career, something like that, 15-year career, however long he's been in the league, my man's been handling the rock. Now you want him to go spot up. That's not really his game. So you got him and LeBron out there who really got to have the rock in their hand to be successful. And now you having one play out of position, the pieces don't fit right. Right? There's a way to, I think, make that work, but somebody got to come off that rock. And if you pit shooters around Russ, which the Lakers do not have, then you might have a different conversation. But now you put him with that second unit, kind of let him run and gun, get somebody to screen and roll, have some guys on the outside that can maybe hit the rim on a shot or knock down 1 or 2. You got a little bit different scenario with Russ, but it just wasn't working having him on the floor for so many minutes with LeBron. But I look forward to the next time the Lakers are on national television and I get to tune in and see what's going on with the purple and gold.
Yeah, I have to see that too. But don't you think LeBron gonna start playing more minutes when it count and they start winning? So that's going to take away from West, don't you think?
No, I don't. I think because Russ is running with the second unit mostly, and then there's times where he'll be out there with LeBron. But I think as you ramp it up, I think one thing is rhythm, right? So I think Russ has had a year where he's had no rhythm and was struggling a lot. Now you let him get his rhythm with the second unit. I think you'll see more production out of him when he's out there with LeBron. That's my take.
Okay, but they got to get wins.
They do.
They got to get
They
wins.
do. And right now, wins are hard to come by if you are the Lakers.
Yes, it is.
Looking at where they are in the standings today, they are sitting in the 14th spot, second to last in the West. 2 wins, 8 losses.
Right.
So it's tough. Do you think the Lakers will make the playoffs this year? That's my question for you.
I don't think so right now.
You don't think they can make the play-in game? You don't think they can make that 10th spot? They are only two and a half games back from the 10th spot. That's doable. You can make that up. It's early. It's early.
But I still think with Golden State and them, I think still some other teams are gonna come around a little bit better too.
I mean, Golden State is in 12th.
That's what I'm saying.
So I'm just saying, I think some of those teams up at the top might slide out. Like San Antonio may slide. Timberwolves may slide. Timberwolves just had a situation the other day where an assistant coach in the locker room had to say, hey, guys, where's the effort? They're talking about effort 10 games into the season. That's a problem. So we'll see how things shake out.
That's why I'm saying, like, right now, it's too early because teams got to, right now, build some chemistry.
Sure.
So it's too early right now.
You can see some things, though.
I know, and I have to see something, but it's like, in a way, it's early.
All right. Moving on to our main topic today. So something I've been thinking a lot about has been Defensive Player of the Year. And this stems all the way back to last season when Marcus Smart was the first guard since Gary Payton to win the Defensive Player of the Year award when Gary Payton won it in 96, right? So you have almost 25 years. I can't do math right now. You do math, got 26 years, right? Since a guard has won that honor. 26 years since a guard won Defensive Player of the Year. So it's definitely a big, heavy, or a big centric award. But I listened to Joel Embiid on JJ Redick's podcast, and they talked a little bit about it. Then a few weeks ago, I saw an article from Bam Adebayo talking about how much he wanted to win a Defensive Player of the Year and how he thinks he gets overlooked for it and why bigs are so viable. And, there's a group of people out there that believe Defensive Player of the Year should always go to bigs. Reasons that they kind of cite are, one, rim protection, right? They keep players from getting layups, which is the easiest shot in basketball. Bigs are the ones calling out a lot of the coverages most of the time. But the big thing is rim protection. And usually the better your center is in today's NBA, the better your defense is what statistics kind of point to. What are your thoughts?
I like bigs, but you know what? I also like Draymond was a good defensive player. I mean, he won it back in 16, 17, I think it was. But he also have made it like 7 years in a row.
All defensive team?
All defensive team. And see, when you talk about, a player sometimes like him, he could play multiple positions.
What does that mean?
He could play different positions. He could play a guard at times. He could play a forward.
He can defend a guard at times. He can defend forwards at times.
And what I like about him more so is he gets in people's heads. See, that way you disrupt a lot more than just one person or just like that.
That's a good point to get in your heads because that's something that, of course, doesn't show directly up in the stat sheet.
Right.
But my question is, when does a guy like Draymond guard multiple positions or guards? Like, when does that usually happen?
I mean, he can do it.
Like, over the course of a game, though, when is he guarding a guard?
At sometimes he may play him. I'm not saying like every game he gonna play a guard.
Is he? Does he? Is that his primary defender? I mean, primary responsibility on defense.
No, that's not his primary, and that's not his primary.
So here's where I'm going with this, and this is something that Bam said in an article that I read recently. He said guys like him and Draymond, and at first I didn't think he included Giannis in this, but he did. But I'm glad he did, because had he not, we were gonna have a real issue. But he said guys like him and Draymond, right? And I'm gonna leave Giannis out of this for a minute.
No, don't leave Giannis out of it.
I'm leaving Giannis out for a minute.
He's right there.
No, let me. I got this.
Go ahead.
I got this. Can I have this?
Go. You got it.
I got this. Everybody, I got this. All right, cool. I'm gonna leave Giannis out of this for a second. I'm gonna focus on Draymond and Bam. They say that they're, let's say, the only two guys except Giannis, or I'll say they're two of the three guys, including Giannis, that can defend all 5 positions, right? That's what they say. They can, they can switch out on guards, guard the perimeter. They can guard wing players. Bam has been matched up on guys like Kawhi, Paul George as a primary. And here's what I have to push back on about that. There's a difference between switching onto a guy, like a Draymond does, switch on a guy and guard the perimeter, compared to your primary matchup tonight being Damian Lillard, being Stephen Curry, being a Russell Westbrook, being a Trae Young, being any elite guard. There's a big difference between that being your primary responsibility, guarding them for, however many out of the 48 minutes, versus you having to switch on to them for a possession or two here and there. Am I right?
I mean, you're right in a sense, but see what I say more about Draymond. See, which I say he's like a little bit older now. But from wherever he play at on defense or when he plays, he can be a disruption to the game.
Sure, but my thing is, I don't like how Bam or Draymond would try to type like, oh, I can switch out on these guys. It's a lot different. Now, take Giannis. You can actually take Giannis and say, hey, Giannis, I need you to shut down Dame tonight. We got to pitch you on step. Like, you can actually take that matchup and be like, all right, that might actually have some legs to it. Compared to, if you say Draymond is checking Ja Morant tonight, you going to laugh at him.
But see now, why would I pick Giannis really to shut down like Dame or something?
I'm saying
like
if
that?
you had to.
But what I'm saying,
if you had to,
I really wouldn't do that.
If you had to.
I see now. I got to.
The point is, you have nobody else on your team that can guard. You need somebody that can get a stop. You need somebody to say, hey, this is going to be your primary matchup tonight. With Draymond, would you ever make his primary matchup? If his primary, put it this way. Let me ask it this way, because I know you about to try to do your little slick stuff again. If you had to say, Draymond, I need you to guard Dame tonight, who you think winning that matchup? Dame or Draymond?
I mean, I'm telling you, I was used Draymond before I was used against. That's what I'm saying.
Answer the question.
What?
Answer the question. This is the question.
You don't want to answer me that.
If Dame,
you're not gonna get the answer you want to get.
If Dame had to be guarded by Draymond, Dame's playing 35 minutes tonight. All 35 minutes, Draymond is on Dame. Who's winning that matchup, Dame or Draymond?
What you talking about? Who's scoring the most points?
Is Dame going off that night?
No, I'm not gonna say he's gonna go off. I'm gonna. He gonna.
So you telling me?
I'm saying he's gonna score.
You telling me?
But
Dame,
you know what?
You telling me Draymond can guard Dame? That's what you're telling me.
I'm saying he's gonna slow him down a little bit. I'm saying he's gonna slow him down.
You don't watch many Warrior games, then, nor do you watch many Portland games.
Okay. So who slows Dame down then? Who slows them? Some players don't get slowed down, right?
Yeah, but
my point is, some players you gotta hope have an off game. Then
sure. Some players are like that, but I'm saying Draymond isn't a lockdown defender, especially not on the perimeter.
I'm not saying he
compared to I can pick Giannis on Dame, and Dame gonna be working hard as hell that night. Guarantee that.
So you don't think Draymond can make anybody work hard?
He can make him work hard, but not like a Giannis. Like not to the point where if you got Kawhi Leonard guarding you like, damn, I got Kawhi on me. If you got Draymond on you, like, okay, ISO 1-4 flat.
See,
1-4 flat.
You know what? See,
Draymond good because he got a good team defense.
See,
he got Clay on that floor, and I'm gonna get a little bit into the statistics in a minute.
See, you know what? I'm not always going by statistics.
Yeah, I know, but I'm about to give you a little stats.
See, you know what? You can go by that, but you know what? Did you get to watch Dennis Rodman play?
A little bit. I've seen footage. I've seen a few games on NBA Hardwood Classics.
But you know what? He made a difference. He made a difference. Now, he didn't have to go out there. He just made people work.
In that era, yes. Dennis Rodman, great defender. Is he stopping guys today? This is a conversation for a different day. I'ma say no.
So you don't think Dennis Rodman could play in them players today?
He can play guys today. I can tell you.
So you don't think that he could have stopped some players today?
Some, but he's not stopping the LeBrons, the Giannis's, the KDs of the world. He's not stopping those guys.
I don't know.
He's not stopping those guys.
See, you got to remember. See, what you got to really hear how good of an athlete he really was, and how much that he really did work. You know, he was a person like sometimes they say will ride a bike or work, and you know he could be out all night and come and get 20 rebounds and play defense and stuff like that. So, yeah,
he ain't stopping LeBron or Giannis or KD today though. I'll tell you that much.
No, that's because he retired.
He ain't stopping those guys.
That's because he retired.
In his prime, he's not stopping those guys in their prime.
I think in his prime he could dealt with him. In his prime he could dealt with him.
First of all, he's too small for Giannis. Too small. Too small.
See, you know what? That's where you also remember that they don't do it. Ain't nobody stopping nobody one-on-one for real.
That's not true.
So, you still have to play within your team.
Sure.
So you still have to use defense and play.
Sure, but there are guys that you can leave on an island by themselves, and they can force guys to take tough shots and force misses. Guys like Marcus Smart can get up in you and do that. Guys like Drew Holiday can get up in you and do that. Guys like Kawhi Leonard can get up in you and do that. Guys like Klay Thompson can get up and guard one-on-one. There are guys that can play defense one-on-one in the NBA. Despite all the differences in today's games compared to games of your era.
So that means somebody now can get up in LeBron and stop LeBron?
Yeah, there's guys.
Only thing they could do is by a team weight makes it tougher.
No. You got guys like Kawhi who can guard him one-on-one. You got guys like Giannis who can guard him one-on-one. Now, the team defense, when the help comes, that makes it even tougher. But very few teams have guys that can match up with, like, LeBron's a unicorn, right? But there are guys out there who can play one-on-one defense at their position and do it very well. There's a lot of guys I'm not naming, too.
It's some players that you really have to have hope that they have an off game.
Sure.
Because I don't care.
Guys like KD.
I don't care who you put on them.
Guys like KD, sure.
Yeah,
you got to send... Yeah. You got your team. You got all five guys guarding them.
But it's still like, you know what? Boston knocked KD and them out of there. Why? Because they roughed him up a little bit too. It's something to go along.
And they also didn't have their full squad healthy.
See, you still make certain players play certain ways and play games. That's what I'm talking about. Like some things are psychological when you get to playing it.
Of course,
that helps a lot.
Of course. But back to the topic. Do you think bigs are more deserving of Defensive Player of the Year than guards?
I would go with it. Because I think they can make more of an impact, like you were saying, defensively.
How do you define impact on defense?
Like I'm saying, like, you know what? You can, when you talk about Giannis, he could make it, like you're saying, he could make it a little bit more difficult for a little guy to shoot over. And then he's quick enough and mobile enough where he can hang with him and he can get back. And he can play, and he good with weak side help and all like that.
Tell me another guy in the NBA that's similar to Giannis.
You know who I like? I like Embiid. I like Embiid. Now, I liked the Embiid a couple years ago when I seen him play like that.
Yeah, I thought Embiid maybe should have won Defensive Player of the Year a couple years ago. I'll give you Joel. The only thing is, I'll say Giannis is an outlier in this category going back to my point a few minutes ago, he's probably the only quote unquote big in the league that you can actually match up with the guard and he'd be fine. I don't think any of the other bigs are athletic enough or have the agility or lateral quickness to guard smaller guards. I don't think Bam could do that for a whole game. I don't think Draymond can do it for a whole game. So when they try to say, hey, this is why, we should be defensive player of the years, in addition to rim protection, I almost got to rule that out. But let me read Bam's quote. So, he was asked about some of his goals for this year, and he stated that he wants defensive player of the year to be an NBA All-Star and All-NBA. And, he said he feels like he has that type of ability, that type of blessed talent to do that in a season. It's not going to be easy because nobody's watching him. But he goes on to say he said, I feel like I'm damn near the only guy who can guard every position. Me, and I give Draymond and probably Giannis 3 guys who can literally guard 1 through 5 and be effective. Question mark for me, as I just explained why. He said, switch on to a Kyrie, switch on to KD, switch on to Joel Embiid. The thing about guards winning it is they don't be down there. They don't be in the semicircle. So I'll pause there for a second. Draymond or Bam can't guard Embiid. He'll have his way with them any night.
Definitely.
Pause.
Definitely.
He said it's extraordinary because nobody else is doing it, what they do and being able to switch out and all that, yada, 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 yada. He said you don't see a lot of guys where they'll switch, they'll guard the guard, then go disrupt the lob at the rim. But I'm not really a big fan on that being why he should be Defensive Player of the Year, because I think it has to be about impact, right? And here's my, I'm going to let you say what you say, then I'm going to say another piece of this thing that comes to mind for me. Go ahead.
No. What I'm saying right now is, you got to remember, Embiid is not going to play most of his game in no low post. So therefore, like when you got them, that is an advantage because see, he's going to play up top a lot. And he probably play up top a lot more. And then, like, I'm not saying he don't drive to the hole, but how much do he turn the ball over when he start doing things? So sometimes that smaller man might be an advantage.
So you're saying when you don't post an Embiid up on a smaller guy like Bam can have a better defensive rating on a given night because you're not punishing them for being.
It showed when Miami played them in the playoffs.
So that's not so much Bam being a good defender. That's not maxing Embiid out on what he could be doing, where he could be more effective, right?
I'm saying they used that a little bit on Embiid in the last year in the playoffs.
Use what?
They used him to guard him like at times. He was matched up with him, Embiid.
Okay, so you just said though that sometimes Embiid is further away from the basket. Do you think if you parked Embiid down on the block, threw it into him, that Bam could guard him one-on-one in the post? Because that's team defense in Miami. And going back to that Miami series, right? Same rules applied to Joel Embiid that applied to James Harden. The reason it was so hard for those guys to score in that series is because Miami had your primary defender up on you, right? Dude helping on the left, dude helping on the right. So the moment you go to put the ball on the floor, you're getting a double team, even triple team at times, because they were forcing you to throw it out to George Niang, Furkan Korkmaz, Matisse Thybulle, forcing you to throw it out to those guys on the perimeter to knock down threes. And if you're Miami, you're like, I'll live with those guys hitting threes. I won't live with James Harden and Joel Embiid getting 30 apiece on me. Or if they do, Sixers probably only going to score 80 points because you're not getting 40 out of the rest of them.
But go ahead.
I'll say it came down to team defense. I don't think a guy like Bam or a guy like Draymond are so impactful that they should be beating a guy like Joel Embiid for Defensive Player of the Year, which is why in recent years you have, Rudy Gobert, who's a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year winner. And I'll tell you why I don't think he deserves to even win it, despite having the best defensive rating in recent years. But you're about to say something.
No, only thing that I was gonna say, and I could remember this. You can go ahead and say what you want to say, or what you was gonna finish up saying.
No, what you about to say?
What I'm saying is, basketball is a team sport.
Sure, but Defensive Player of the Year is an individual
But
award.
how do you get awards? You get awards by your team helping you and making you stronger and making you better. You're a coach. That's what
Sure.
it does. So you use.
But that keep the same energy when you talk about MVP. That's an individual award. You don't have this. Oh, your team did X. No, that's very individualistic mindset when it comes to MVP. Now, Defensive Player of the Year, we want to talk about team defense. Now, here's the thing. I agree. The team is a big part of it, which is why I have mixed feelings on how Defensive Player of the Year is selected. So, for instance, right, a lot of times they're looking at a player's defensive rating. A lot goes into calculating defensive rating. It's very convoluted, but basically what the defensive rating tells you is per 100 possessions, right? This is how many points you're giving up. So you look at the 2021-2022 NBA season last year, Rudy Gobert, for another year, had the best defensive rating at 103.2. So the lower the number, the better, right? Al Horford was number 2 at 104.3. Joel Embiid was third at 105.3. Marcus Smart, who won the award, was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10th at 107.1. So this is one of those instances where I don't even like the stats because I was in favor of Marcus Smart being Defensive Player of the Year. You want me to tell you? Yeah.
You what?
Yeah, you want me? I'll get to my reasoning why in just a sec. But you want to know why I had a problem with a guy like Rudy Gobert winning it so many years in a row?
Why?
Or winning it so many times?
Why?
Because Rudy Gobert is a center, right? Defensive Player of the Year. Individual defense, right? When it comes to Rudy Gobert guarding the elite centers in a game, think about it. NBA is a very guard-dominant, wing-dominant league, right? Like your best players are guards and wing players, forwards, right? When it comes time for him to guard a Joel Embiid, he can't stop Embiid. He can't stop the Joker, right? So you can't even stop the best guys at your position, but you're Defensive Player of the Year. So now we're going back to team defense, right? Because the only way he can really slow down his main guys is if the team's helping. He can't even stop them one-on-one. And then when you're looking at other nights, right, where they're playing a guard-focused team, like if they're playing a Ja Morant, if they're playing a Devin Booker, if they're playing a Kevin Durant, a Kyrie Irving, he's not the primary defender. He's just straight rim protecting, right? So that's one of my problems with a guy like Rudy Gobert winning Defensive Player of the Year. It's because, one, a lot of times the guy with the, at least in recent history, the guy with the greatest or the best defensive rating can't even stop the best guys at his position. And now to your point, I think Marcus Smart was deserving because you talk about impact, right, Dad? He is, let's see, out of the top 10 in defensive rating, he was number 10, right? Chris Paul was number 9. Luka, who's a big guard, was number 8. But even Luka's not guarding little guards, right? So the only two people guarding guards or, that are able to match up with guards specifically are Marcus Smart and Chris Paul. Marcus Smart, though, isn't just matching up with guards every night. He's not just matching up with your Chris Pauls, your Kyries, your Russell Westbrooks. He's also matching up with your KDs, your LeBrons, even at times your Giannis's, like as the primary defender. So when you talk about impact, that word you use, I think Marcus Smart made enough impact last season for the Boston Celtics, who have no other guy where you're like, yo, he's a defender in this league. He made enough impact on that team to be deserving of the award.
They got another person that plays down low that helps out too, don't they?
You talking about Robert Williams,
Yes,
who
I
provides rim protection, but he's not really strapping nobody up.
Right. What? See, you know
He's
what?
not strapping up KD. You got Marcus Smart guarding Kevin Durant.
Ain't nobody strapping nobody down like that.
He making them work though. Marcus Smart gonna get up in you. He's gonna crowd you. To your point, he's gonna get in your head.
You know what? I'm not saying that he ain't bad. But you know what? Draymond took him out of the game. Draymond took him out of the game, out of his game. Now you talking about a defensive player of the game. I'm talking about an all-time player. And Draymond,
you saying Draymond took who out of their game?
Marcus Smart.
All right, Marcus Smart that's not the same as like taking Jason Tatum out of his game. Like Marcus Smart isn't like the offensive guy, and he's your defender. So I don't give a damn if Draymond takes Marcus Smart is already a head case. He's already a head case.
But see what I'm saying, you disrupt the team. What I'm saying is that one play that you could disrupt the team.
Draymond, who Draymond stopping though? What game?
You know what?
All right, look,
in that game, you know what?
Who won that game? Tell me who won the game. Give me the whole lay of the land.
Who won the championship?
So you're talking about in the finals? He got Marcus Smart out of the game.
I'm just saying he disrupted that team. Period.
You saying that because they won?
Game, and then he had a bad series. Kevin, no.
So how much disrupting he doing? Oh yeah, now that you say it, Draymond was a non-factor in the finals last year.
But you know what? He the one that turned that series around. When he got to them and had them all like that, when he got them, that was turning a series around, man.
Did he turn the series around, or did Steph put in the Golden State Warriors on his back turn the series around? Don't try to give Steph's credit to Draymond, because Draymond ain't do beep in that series.
Hold up. You had other players that Steph. Yes, Steph did what he did, but he did it with other players.
And those players weren't Draymond Green?
Huh?
Draymond. Oh, okay. Draymond Green, 6 points a game. You're right.
But
did a lot for that team, man.
See, a lot of times you don't have to put it in the scorebooks. You don't have to put it in the stats sometimes. You don't have to do that.
But who did Draymond stop in that series?
Huh?
Who was Draymond stop? It was the team defense. It was the team defense.
But you know what? He was one of the main leaders, man. He's a leader.
My man was a shell of himself in that series.
And you know what? And that's
on both ends.
And that's the same because you know what? He disrupted them.
You delusional, man.
Oh my God.
Your memory, man. It's I don't agree with you there.
Okay, you don't have to agree with me.
But
you don't have to agree with me.
But that's all the time we have for today, man.
If you remember in that game when he went around acting the way that he acted, that changed that whole series, man. It changed the series. Now, no, he might have didn't score points. He might didn't do all that. And boy, that he sucked. But you know what? He had people to follow him.
I'm going to let you have the last word.
Okay.
Y'all can let us know in the comments.
Feel
free to DM me on Instagram at the NoStoppingKev Show to let me know your thoughts on Defensive Player of the Year, and if you thought Draymond was a factor in last year's finals, because apparently he was the factor. He was the X factor.
We're not.
But let's keep moving on out of time. What do we do at this point in the show, Dad?
It's the WNBA time.
WNBA time. I like that. It's time to highlight something in the world of women's basketball. So I saw something very cool recently. Someone DM'd me on Instagram and sent me a picture of Jaden Ivey rocking his mom's jersey as he entered into the arena for one of his games. If you don't know, Jaden Ivey is a rookie for the Detroit Pistons. Go Pistons. His mom, I didn't realize, played for the Detroit Shock. Yeah, our executive producer, Devin, who was from Detroit, who has gone to many of Shock games. It's just like, yeah, you should know this. But yeah, I learned something. So yeah, I think her name is Niele Ivey. I hope I'm pronouncing that correctly. She played for the Shock. I knew she coached, but I wasn't aware that she played in the WNBA. But she was drafted by the Fever in 2001, spent a few seasons there, then spent a season with the Mercury and a season with the Detroit Shock. But she spent her last almost 2 decades now coaching. She was an assistant at Xavier for a while, assistant at Notre Dame, and then she even spent a season as an assistant for the Memphis Grizzlies. Hurrah for women making strides in coaching staffs in the NBA. And then, more presently, she is the head coach at Notre Dame. So definitely check out her team. I'll be watching more Notre Dame games for sure. College basketball started this week, so I'll be sure to tune into some of college women's basketball because I'm always supporting the W at both levels. Devin, got a game for us today? All right, let's do it. All right, Dad. So we are playing this or that blank edition, right? So Devin will give us a player, and then we have to say, she'll give us a player, right? There'll be a player that's the focus. So we have our focus player. And then she'll give us another player, and you have to say which one you would choose, the focus player or the new guy. Make sense?
I don't know. I'll see.
All right.
Trae Young, Donovan Mitchell.
Trae Young or Donovan Mitchell? They both struggle in the playoffs. I'm going to go, right now I'm going Donovan Mitchell because he's been rolling with the Cavs. And he's a little bit bigger guard, stronger, better on defense. I'm going Donovan Mitchell.
I would definitely go Donovan Mitchell.
Why?
Huh?
Why?
Because I just think that I would just go with him more so.
Okay, gut feeling. Gotcha.
It's a question.
No, on what he could do. I think he's more like Trae Young is good, but I don't think that he's the type of ball player. Donovan Mitchell can get you buckets.
Okay.
He can get you more buckets.
James Harden, Luka.
Who?
Luka.
I'm going with the MVP.
Today I'm going with Luka.
You going with the MVP?
I'm not saying he MVP, but I'm going with Luka today.
Jimmy Butler.
Hold up, don't you want to know why I'm going with Luka?
No.
Oh, okay.
It's clear. He's the MVP. What you mean?
Jimmy Butler, Jason Tatum.
Oh, that's tough.
I'm. You know what? I'm gonna take Jason Tatum.
I'm going Jimmy Butler.
I'm gonna take Jason Tatum.
Because Jimmy going to get you buckets when you need it, and he going to D up on the other end. Holla at your boy, JB.
I don't know. Jason Tatum was pretty good last year.
He was.
And that's why I'm gonna take him.
But here's how I look at these questions, right? These this or that. I'm taking it as if you had to build around one of these guys, who would it be? Now, you could build a team around Jason Tatum. That's not a wrong answer. I'm just saying I would go with Jimmy Butler. Because, had Jimmy had more help on that Miami team, Celtics in trouble.
Well, see, you know what? He did have help with that Miami team.
Hurt Tyler Herro. Max Strauss isn't help. Hurt Kyle Lowry. We were at those games.
What about Bam?
Bam against...
I can't remember.
Bam ain't that much help.
But who?
Bam, you asked me if I thought Bam was overrated. Bam Adebayo, overrated. Overrated.
See.
I like Bam too, but overrated.
You know what? It's the chemistry that Miami has down there.
Sure.
And it even comes from the office.
But
it
shoot.
even comes from the office, man.
When Jimmy was in Philly, if Kawhi doesn't hit the quadruple doink, we win a championship.
I believe that too.
Jimmy that guy.
I believe that too.
Okay.
A man among boys.
But Jim, go ahead. Go. We're gonna go.
Prime, Dwight Howard. Prime, Kevin Garnett.
Ooh, damn, but Dwight was Dwight should have been 4-time defensive player of the... Yo, oh my God, Devin, that's a good one. Nah, I gotta back my guy on this one, I think. I think I gotta bite Dwight Howard. That man was too dominant.
He was dominant, but you know what? Kevin Garnett did it longer. He did it longer. He did it longer. You got to go with it.
You talking about through the Boston era?
His whole career, Minnesota, he did it longer. He was one of the top players ever since high school.
That is true. But I don't think he was as dominant. I think in their prime, I think Dwight was more dominant than KG was.
I'll go with you, but I still would have to take Garnett.
Yeah, you just doing it based on age again at that point.
No, I'm just saying he still had a lot to do with winning the championship and all. He was a part of that.
A lot to do, but he had a lot more help than Dwight did.
Dwight played with Kobe. What did he do?
No. That's not prime Dwight, Dad.
Like Superman, Orlando Magic.
Yeah, who went up against Kobe
Huh?
with little old Jameer Nelson, Hito Turkoglu, Rashard Sweet Lewis. But Dev, you got another one for us?
Last one. Kobe Bryant. Magic Johnson.
Oh, I'm going with Magic. Kobe, my man, but I got to take Magic. I got to take Magic.
I'm going with Bean
I got to take Magic.
because with team. Never mind. I ain't going. We don't got time to go down that road today.
What team was?
Nah. Until next time.
But you
thanks,
gotta
DB.
remember. You gotta remember one time he won 3 championships with Shaq being like the dominant player. Magic ran the show.
You talking about that All-Star team they had in LA back in the Showtime era?
Magic was the one that put Showtime in it.
That's all the time we have for today. Thank you always for tuning in. Dad, you want to tell the people where they can listen? I got your back.
Yeah. Go ahead. Go ahead. I got your back.
Tune in on YouTube or anywhere you listen to podcasts. Spotify, Apple Podcasts. I don't really care. Just tune in, share us with a friend. And if you don't do anything else, follow us on IG at the NoStoppingKev Show. Until next time, people. Peace.
Peace.